What the heck is going on, Raider Nation? It's your boy Mikey Raider coming to you with some sad news and frustrations and heartache, I believe, for over 60% of the Raider fan base. I needed to do an impromptu live show because some other video makers are online doing that. Well, one of them in particular, Wi Fi Willie, does a fantastic job getting information out to the Raiders. But while I was watching that video, he's in pain. And he said, somebody commented that he was the only, somebody commented that he was, or gave him a super chat that said he was the only Raider video maker going live for the nation. And I took that to heart. Uh, Wi Fi Willie kept talking about how he gets the most views and everything else. And he was getting a lot of super chats. And I kind of got mad at the statement that he was the comment from one of the viewers that said he's the only Raider video maker that goes live for the nation. And I was getting a little bit of jealous because he was getting a ton of super chats, ton. But he does the work. He created that business. Apparently, he's got a Raiders channel, an NFL channel, and all that other stuff. And I guess he's a Raider fan. I'm pretty sure he is, but he's in it for making money as well. And I commend the man. He's a great guy, does amazing work. But I was getting jealous, man, from that comment from that guy. And I got a little hurt because during the video, Willie, maybe 30 minutes in, said that, like, he kept saying, like, he's the best statistical Raider YouTuber with views and comments and all that. And I agree, he is. Let's just get it right. He puts in the work. He knows graphics. He deserves everything he's getting. Whatever money he's earning that they're giving to him, he deserves it. But I took a little bit of offense to those comments because I still want to consider myself in that category of a favorite Raider YouTuber video, even though I have nowhere near the subscribers that he does anymore. And I know I'm an OG, but when he was making those statements that are correct and he deserves it, it just hurt me. It made me feel sad. So not only am I sad for Derek Carr and the situation we're going to talk about, I got sad for my channel. I got sad that I'm a shell of myself in my channel from former years with the Raiders. And I feel like they were hurtful comments and a little bit divisive. Like going the Mitchell Renz chat sports way about it, where it's all about business. It's all about making that super chat money, all about business, not really caring about the Raiders a lot, but making it about business and taking stuff from our fans. That's what Mitchell Renz and Chat Sports does, in my opinion. That's what they do, in my opinion. Wi-Fi Willie is a different story. I'm not saying that's what he's doing. But I got a little bit of those feelings by watching his broadcast tonight because he's sad and he's frustrated and he's mad. And then I got jealous, and then I saw the comment from the guy talking about he's the best Raider video maker. And I had to go live, guys. I didn't want to. I had to. Just to let everybody know that we're hurting. A lot of us are hurting, and a lot of us are proud. Let me get to this because I need to thank you. Robert Hernandez, Mikey Raider, and Raider Central will always be the original. You are a good brother. Thank you. That made my Christmas. I appreciate it. Again, I don't hate Wi-Fi Willie. I love the dude. I think he's fantastic. I just got a little bit jealous, and then some of his comments kind of irked me. but it's okay. Let's move on, guys. Let's get out our frustrations, our tears, ask some questions. Again, I'm not saying this to be crazy, but I might not see all the questions and be able to answer them. If you do and can afford a super chat question, it comes up bright on my screen and then it takes me away from my talking and whatever I'm doing. And then I see it and I answer it, and it also supports me, makes me feel good about making videos. Like I said, I'm hurting financially, let's be honest with you. But I'm not gonna beg you guys for money. I'm just gonna say if you want to, go ahead. I'd appreciate it. That being said, as well, I always have microphone problems with this program, the StreamYard. Please, if my microphone goes out, tell me during the stream. Start writing, your mic is gone or something like that. And hopefully I'll be able to fix it and I'll check it. Yeah, I'm not here to dig on Wi-Fi Willie. You know that Sanjit called him out, or that he's a bait clicker. Why not be a bait clicker? Again, if you want to make it your business and your job, which I believe he did, and he did it very good, you got to clickbait to get subscribers. Because let's think about this from an honest point of view, guys. On the actual Raiders YouTube channel, I think there might be 150,000 subscribers on the actual Raiders YouTube channel. So if you make a channel to make money as your business and you pick the Raiders as your team, that is your limit. Because if the official Raider YouTube channel only has like 150,000 subscribers, what can a fandom or a news channel or a podcast channel for the Raiders honestly get compared to the original Raiders channel? Not as much. I, at one point, got a little bit over 50,000 subscribers, maybe 50,600 or something like that. And my God, I thought I was on top of the world. My ego hit a boost, and then Jesus or God and the NFL struck me down and said, and I got humbled. I got fucking humbled. And I needed it for my life because I always need to be a humble person. And again, when you get bigger and better, sometimes you get less humble. And that's what I'm fearing is happening to some of my, Raider video makers that we just spoke about. It's a very, very scary thing. Oh, shit. I still got the chat up. Shit. I didn't know why it wasn't moving. I wanted to thank everybody for being online. Malo213, Dark Atheist, even though the other day I didn't know what you were saying in your comments. All Eyes on G has been having, you're writing no audio again? No audio again? Check. Check. I thought I had audio. Check. Check. All right. It looks like it's working again. Thank you, guys. I barely saw the chat that said I had no audio. Sorry, guys. I think it's working now. Spit fixes everything. Yeah, it needs a condenser or something like. I don't know what's going on, man. It's not contacting the metal. So long story short, I was saying about I got humbled. I lost my Raider channel after getting 50,000 subscribers. I got humbled because God wanted it to be that way. And I just fear that some of the video makers and podcasters that are getting up success and everything that they're losing the humility. And again, how far can you go with a specific Raider channel? If the original Raider channel only has 150,000 subscribers, a YouTube channel from a fan can't do that much as well, unless you broaden your horizons and talk about other teams and other people. So I don't know if you guys were able to hear everything I said earlier. I just got a little bit of jealous watching Wi-Fi Willie get all the super chats, and then somebody made a comment in his show that he's the only Raider video maker that goes live and is for the nation or something of that type, and it really hurt me. So I had to go live. I wanted to talk to you guys, and I wanted to express my frustrations, and I just felt that Wi-Fi Willie was gloating because he kept telling us about how many views he gets, how many subscribers he gets, that he's the statistical #1 Raider channel. And that's not humility. That's not a good place, because I took offense to it, being a Raider video maker that hopefully inspired people. Thank you very much, Veto. I'm proud of Carr, but I know Brady is coming. Thank you, David. Let's get into it, guys. No more talking about my jealousy and not making a lot of money on YouTube or whatever. None of that shit. We're already sad enough. But once again, please, if my microphone goes out again, please let me know my mic is out as soon as possible, and I'll try to fix it. I have problems with this application and this microphone, and I need to fix it or whatever. Yeah, I haven't been able to do a Mikey and Murph. I'm going to need to. I'm going to need to figure it all out and get it all set up again in the next couple weeks, or maybe right at the end of the season. Maybe right at the end of the season. I'm going to have to do that. D-Whoop, Robert, thank you guys. All eyes on G. What I was trying to say earlier before you wrote something about the mic comment, I was going to say hello to everybody that's online. And all IGs, I was going to say that you've been having my back, man. In that video I made like 2 or 3 days ago, a lot of people talking crap about, you're just a Derek Carr stan, this and that. Like, wow, what's wrong with loving Derek Carr? I understand we need to move on, and I explained all that in the video, that he needs, and we need a fresh start. But the way he's going out is like Tom Brady. I mean, it's like a John Gruden in a bad fashion. But, all eyes on G, man. You have my back, brother, like in that video, to everybody. Because people are stupid. They don't listen. They don't listen correctly. Or they don't understand what people are saying. I mean, I do that too, of course. So I'm stupid all the time. But with the case of Josh Jacobs talking about his 4 years, I appreciate it. All right, so let's try to get started, man. Let's try to get on a path of healing, and let's discuss what's going on with the Raiders. But I'm going to first put on Josh McDaniels' statement that he made earlier today that came to a shock to many, and to others, they were cheering it on like Antifa. These people are cheering on Derek Carr's demise and his legacy, and it pisses me the F off. I don't care whether he's good or bad, or you like him or you didn't, or you're a hater or a stan. He's a human fucking being that loved the Raiders, wanted to be a Raider. Yes, he's limited. He ain't the best quarterback. We all now officially have to accept that. I get it. I get it. And it is time to move on for him, which I don't know if he wants to, but it's time to move on. But he's still a human being. And how dare people are rooting on his demise? Now he doesn't even possibly have a chance to play the last 2 games as a Raider before he might be gone. That is sad. That is sad for his legacy, for his career, for his fandom for the Raiders. That is sad for some of the fans of his, but others are cheering. That's how divisive our fan base is on most cases. Because in their simple minds, yes, I'm calling out Raider fans. In their simple minds, it's all about the just win. Organization over everything. Thank you, Tony L. What do you think about drafting Will Levis with the 8th pick? Trade Carr for draft capital. Invest in defense. Yeah, you know what? Let's get into it now before I watch this press conference from Gruden. You had a great question, brother. Again, there's a lot of things going on with the Derek Carr contract situation that needs to be discussed. He had a 1-year out. There is like a clause where he can be released if not injured, if he passes a physical right after the Super Bowl, before the start of the season. There is, I don't know all the ins and outs. You can watch Pro Football Talk. You can watch some of the other shows about that. But there's an out if he's cut. Okay? That's why, technically, Hondo Carpenter, the reporter for the Raiders after the game last week, specifically asked Josh McDaniels a question in that post-game press conference where he said, oh, Derek Carr's struggling. Hondo Carpenter is a paid shill. I like the guy. He's a good guy, but he works for Josh McDaniels and the Raiders, and he was told the questions to ask, when was the right time to ask them to please the agenda of getting rid of Carr, which I think Josh McDaniels has had, or he's at least had it since the middle of the season. They knew that they were going to possibly get rid of Derek Carr, hence why they gave him a contract. But here's the kicker. Josh McDaniels tests all his players. He tested Josh Jacobs, didn't give him a 5th-year option. Why? He wanted to test him. He tested him in the preseason. He didn't have belief in him. He said that he came to the Raiders because of Carr, but he kind of did and he kind of didn't. Josh McDaniels came to the Raiders to build a franchise with an organization that has money in a new stadium, and he could be the man. Mark Davis is a pushover. And he's got the Bill Belichick legacy on his back. Josh McDumbass came in saying that he wanted to play with Carr, and he did. But he was also testing Derek Carr. He knew he needed an offensive weapon as well to give to Derek Carr to test him. So they went out and used Derek Carr as leverage for Davante Adams because they're best friends. Then Davante Adams comes to the Raiders. Then they give Derek Carr an extension with the 1-year out. Derek Carr agreed. He didn't want to be greedy. He didn't want to get his lawyer to go over the contract. Sorry, guys. My chat room is just going crazy. So he didn't want to be greedy. He took a friendly deal where he gained another like $11 or $12 million this year, but there was an out in there per the physical. So that technically is why Josh McDaniels is sitting Derek Carr. He's made his choice. He's moving on from Carr. I know he's probably saying publicly, oh, we're going to evaluate at the end of the season and see what's going on. But no, because Derek Carr's $40 million contract becomes guaranteed after the Super Bowl. And if he gets injured playing the 49ers or the Chiefs, if he gets injured, he'll be on IR or injured going into the offseason, and he has to be on the Raiders roster after the Super Bowl or the first day of the year because he got injured in the previous season. So that would make his $40 million guaranteed for next year. That's why Josh McDaniels is sitting Derek Carr, so he doesn't get injured, and that $40 million is not guaranteed if he doesn't get injured, because they have an option now to release Derek Carr. Release. I didn't say trade. I said release. Will he? And people are like asking Willie and all that questions. When will he be traded? This and that. The way it's looking is Derek Carr is straight up gonna be released. Because who's gonna take on a $40 million contract for a quarterback that has just been publicly ousted? And if he's benching Derek Carr to possibly release him or trade him, again, that's not good for the franchise. There's no guarantee we'll get a first-round pick. There's no guarantee we'll get anything. There's no guarantee another team will give us a first-round pick and take on the $40 million. There's no guarantee. Josh McDaniels knows business. He's benching Derek Carr so he doesn't get injured, because he knows he's going to release him. He released every other player, whether they were good or bad or not. Let's be honest. Josh McDaniels laid out his plans every week starting in the preseason, that he was testing players and he's going to cut them on a dime if it doesn't work out and if they don't agree with him or they don't like him. Remember, a couple of players questioned Josh McDaniels this season. They were immediately gone. The reporters can't even question Josh McDaniels, or they're released, or they're no longer a reporter for the Raiders. That is what Mark Davis and this team is doing this year. Remember, a couple of times Derek Carr made, or Devante Adams, and who else was the other? I think it was Jonathan Abram. They said things in a press conference live, but the edited version on the Raiders.com website and the YouTube channel, they cut it out. They cut it out. Why? There's an agenda at play. When it started, I don't know. Some of it started before the preseason. Some of it started after. Some of it started when Derek Carr was, you guys, the haters would say he's losing games. But Derek Carr versus Josh McDaniels has been happening all year. The play calling, everything, game plan. Wi-Fi Willie does an amazing job exposing the game plans and all that. So check him out. I love the guy. I still love the guy. I just got a little hurt. So can Derek Carr be traded, to your question, Tony? Let me get that question back up on screen. Support your man. Keep you what you're doing. Thank you. What do you think about drafting Will Levis? Honestly, Tony, I don't know shit about college. I don't know nothing about college. And I say I know everything about the Raiders, but I clearly don't. Trade Carr for draft capital. So, like we just talked about, we can't trade him. Or we're going to have a hard time trading him, and I don't think that's on the books. I don't think that's what the Raiders are going to do. Again, it's still up in the air. There's no right or wrong answers. But Josh McDaniels is not playing Derek Carr to shave $40 million to use that money elsewhere or to do something different. Clearly, that's why he's benching Derek Carr. Because if Josh McDaniels was just about winning and for the culture and to respect Derek Carr's legacy, you'd let him play these 2 games, even if you know he was going to be gone. You would let him possibly get that $40 million, even if he gets injured, for his legacy and what he's tried to do for the Raiders. Clearly, he's benching him to save the money because they know they're going to release him. They're not going to take on, the contract after the Super Bowl or whatever on the first day of the year. I don't know when they cut him, how it's going to happen, but it'll happen. Might not happen until May or June. And it also depends on how good Jared Stidham looks with Josh McDaniels in the scheme. That'll decide a lot about Derek Carr next year and whether he's traded or they're just plain going to release him or when they're going to release him. I mean, there's a lot up in the air, but it's done. The overall objective and the overall picture is it's done. Derek Carr possibly played his last game for the Raiders. He's being benched to save money. The agenda for Josh McDaniels has been exposed, and you guys can blame it on Derek Carr. That's fine. He deserves to go. But my goodness, this is not a way to treat a quarterback that gave his all for this organization. This is not a way to treat him. And that's why I'm getting really salty on this organization as a whole. People wrote in my comments of the show the other day, they're like, you can't talk shit about the Raiders. You're calling out the entire organization. Do we not hate the government? But we love some people in it? Or respect some people in it sometimes? I think we do. So why can't I hate the Raiders organization, but still love the team and still root for the team and root for the players? Robert Hernandez, thank you, brother. Can Derek Carr reject to be traded off the Raiders? He has a no-trade clause. That's why he has a no-trade clause. If his contract, if he's not released sometime next year, there's a point where they got to release him or take on his contract. If he's not released, sorry, my video keeps freaking up. If he's not released, did my video come back? There it is. If he's not released and the Raiders take on his contract, meaning, you know, the $40 million becomes guaranteed for next season, then he can request not to be traded because he has a no trade clause. So that's why Josh McDaniels has to possibly just release Derek Carr because he has a no trade clause because Derek Carr wanted to be a Raider for his life. So that's why the cards in front of Josh McDaniels, when he made the decision to bench Derek Carr so he doesn't get injured to save the $40 million, proves they're not going to keep him on the roster to try and trade him because he has a no trade clause. Would Derek Carr give up that trade clause? He might. He might not. I wouldn't. If you want to be a Raider for your life and somehow I'm still on the roster and my $40 million or my contract gets guaranteed, my $40 million, if I'm still on the roster and then they ask me, hey, can we trade you? I tell them to go F themselves. If I was Derek Carr, I tell them to go fuck themselves. With everything he's been through, to be done like this from Josh McDumbass and Mark Davis talking about, oh, I traded Derek Carr. I meant David Carr. I wanted to trade Derek Carr. I mean David Carr. When they were talking about Tom Brady and all that other stuff a couple of years back. It's really sad, guys. It's really sad. So it's looking like he's going to be released. Looking like he's going to be released. We're going to get no value for this player. I mean, why wouldn't Josh McDaniels just release him? Why would he let the guaranteed roster come in? I mean, the guaranteed money come in for $40 million, then try to trade him? He's already sabotaged other players and didn't trade them because apparently he couldn't get anything for them or their value, like Jonathan Abram or the right tackle that we drafted. I forget everybody's name. Underwood, who's now with the Patriots, probably. No, I think he's with Cleveland. I don't know. The point is, he ruined Derek Carr's value, and he didn't want Derek Carr to get injured to get that fully guaranteed $40 million for next year. So he pulls Derek Carr out and benches him because he will be released. That looks like the plan right now. Things can change with other information. And I don't know. Let's watch the Josh McDumbutt press conference. And let me react to it, guys. I haven't watched the whole thing yet.
A couple things to update everybody on. We put Denzel and Chandler on IR, so they'll be out the remaining couple weeks this season. And had a good conversation with the quarterbacks this morning, and so we're going to go ahead and start Jarrett.
Look at how nervous he is, and he knows what he's doing. He's nervous as hell
and
breathing heavily.
They'll be out the remaining couple weeks this season, and had a good conversation with the quarterbacks this morning, and so we're going to go ahead and start Jarrett the last couple games of the season here. None of us is happy with where we're at, but we think it's an opportunity to evaluate a younger player who hasn't had much time to play.
Exactly, because he was your plan all along. He was your plan all along, your secondary plan. If Derek Carr didn't get better to you while you were testing him out, or you didn't like what he see, or if Derek Carr doesn't excel in your system, you got your guy from New England, Jared Stidham. That was your plan all along while you were watching Derek Carr.
Talking to Derek, who was great. He understands the scenario that we're in, and
he doesn't understand it. He only understands it because you're a bad coach. You're a ridiculous play caller. You're an asshat. And you can't even make it work with Derek Carr because you're not a Derek Carr fan. John Gruden at least got the best out of Derek Carr while working with even less options in Davante Adams. You came into this team with the Tom Brady system and your bullshit system while not even wanting to work with Derek Carr, work with his capabilities, try to get rid of some of his weaknesses, his limitations, make him a better quarterback. No, you brought in your entire system and you didn't even make one for the Raiders. How the hell is this going to be a Raiders dynasty or a Raiders legacy when everything is fucking Patriots? Sorry, guys, my computer
situation and
keeps fidgeting.
Very supportive of the two young guys. Those three guys obviously have worked together hand in hand all year, and he'll do anything he can to help them. So that's what we're going to do. And obviously we're started into our preparation for what I think probably is the best.
You see what he said right there? He goes, we're going to start our preparation for releasing Derek Carr. That's what you were really, truly trying to say. We're going to start our preparation for releasing Derek Carr and moving on.
Started into our preparation for what I think probably is
releasing
the
Carr.
best, football team top to bottom that we've played in San Francisco. So well coached, extremely highly ranked in every category, offense.
Hey, it's funny. You're giving credit to the 49ers and saying they're well coached. Are you? coaching this team correctly and is good enough? No. You guys got to remember, he did this in Denver. He did this exact same scenario with Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler was drafted to be their franchise quarterback. He came to the team, and then he cut Jay Cutler after like 8 games or whatever. Then he moved up in the draft to draft Tim Tebow because he wanted his guy and he wanted to be the man. He did the same scenario with Jay Cutler, albeit Jay Cutler was in his first or second year, not his 9th like Derek Carr, but he gives up on players and he has no faith in them unless he brought them into his system, like Jared Stidham.
Defense, special teams, I'd say probably playing as good as any team that we faced all year at the time that we're playing them, and I'm excited for the opportunity and looking forward to the challenge of this week.
We talked about the contract situation on Monday. Does that play into this? And then bigger question, what's the message in regards to Derek Carr moving forward with the Raiders?
Yeah, like I said, it's more about the opportunity.
What's it like? What do you think's how Derek Carr's gonna feel about moving forward? It's not really about that. It's more about Jared Stidham getting an opportunity. It's more about Jared Stidham getting an opportunity. You fucking prick. And Frank Fiore, you wrote a good question that I happened to see. It's better when the super chat because I like money and then I like to see it. But you said, bro, being a Raiders fan and you want Brady. Oh no, that was towards somebody else. But yeah, I don't want Brady as well. But no, there was another question above you from Freethinker. There it is. Why are Raider fans so emotionally attached to Derek Carr? Okay. Raider fans, every single one of them are emotional creatures. We're up and we're down. We've been through turmoil, whether it be in life, reality, whatever. Okay. Raider fans are loyal to the team to the detriment of players at many times. Derek Carr is a religious human being. He's a religious soul. He came to the team and said and tried to do all the right things publicly, wanted to be a Raider. So a lot of us fell in love with the man, not just the player on the field, but the man. And we respect him and we like him. Physical abilities and gameplay aside, we like him. He's trying and doing everything he can with his capabilities to be the ultimate Raider. He has also statistically become the best Raider quarterback statistically in our history because we had faith in him as well for 8 years. But they gave him a new coach every 2 years, new offensive coordinators every year, turmoil around every block. And Derek Carr put up with it and still led this team, still held press conferences, put his heart on his sleeve, talked to the players, went to their houses, played games with them, and loved them. And now this is being done to him. That's why Raider fans are emotionally attached to Derek Carr. I hope I answered your question, Freethinker.
Like I said, we're all accountable to where we're at, and
I think
this is more about an opportunity.
Are we? Are you benching Josh Jacobs? No, you're putting all the blame on Derek Carr. You didn't even give Derek Carr Darren Waller when he came back. Why? Why would you not give Derek Carr more weapons in that game a couple weeks ago on Thursday night? Are you avoiding the weapons for Derek Carr? Are you giving game plans in the second half to lose games so you can move on from Carr, where publicly it looks like Carr is at fault? What are you doing, Josh McDaniels? What are you doing? I guarantee you a lot of the ridiculous play calls in the second half that you did, whether it be with Davante Adams going into the same area or not targeting Davante Adams or telling Derek Carr to run out on a pitch or a flea flicker, I guarantee you're going to try your best to make Jared Stidham look like a better quarterback than Derek Carr. So when you do release Derek Carr, the fans will say, you see, Jared Stidham's better than Derek Carr. Josh McDaniels did technically the right thing. Check. Sorry, guys. Check. What I was saying was, I guarantee you're going to do everything in your power to make Jared Stidham look good this week. Give him all the correct play calls and everything so the Raider fans can say, oh, Jared Stidham's a better quarterback than Derek Carr. Jared Stidham's a better quarterback than Derek Carr. So, Josh McDaniels, you technically made the right decision. That's the narrative that's going on. That is the narrative that is going on. Give me 1 second. Check. Can you hear me? Is everybody out there? Check. All right. Sorry, guys. I had to put on like a sanitizer with alcohol in it as a conductor. I got to replace my mic. Forgive me. Again, if my mic keeps going out, please let me know as soon as possible. All right, let's watch the rest of this debacle.
To see a guy that we haven't seen play in a situation like this against a couple good teams, really good teams. Derek's played a lot of football. There's a lot of evaluating that's going to take place here once the season's over in terms of how we make the most progress, what makes the most sense for everybody, and how we move forward. And we knew that was going to be the case, obviously.
Hey, we knew it. We knew that was going to be the case, proving his agenda.
We were hoping to be in a different scenario than we are currently, but there's no finality to today. This is just a decision we thought after talking about it and contemplating it that we thought would be an opportunity for us to see what we have in him and how we do going forward. We'll see. You know what I mean?
All right. Here's the bullshit about his statement. He said there's no finality to it. Yes, there is. If there was no finality to it, you wouldn't bench him. If you really had faith and belief that he would be your quarterback moving forward into next year, you wouldn't give a damn about the $40 million that's guaranteed. You wouldn't give a damn. Clearly, there is a finality to it, you stupid douchebag. Otherwise, you would let Derek Carr play. Yes, anything could still happen. You might still keep Derek Carr, but it's all dependent on how your boy, Jared Stidham, looks in these next 2 weeks against good teams, against the number one defense in the NFL. If you make Jared Stidham look good, which you probably will, you're going to play to Jared Stidham's strengths. If you make him look good, whether we win or lose, if you make Jared Stidham look good, that'll prove that you could have made Carr even better if you worked with him. And now you're going to move on in a finality from Derek Carr officially. You can't peel an apple without a knife. And you're exposing your fucking knife every day, every minute.
So I think there's a lot to be sorted through once the season's over.
Derek's play, especially over the last month or so, hasn't been up to par, I would say. How much did that play into it?
Yeah, like I said, we're all accountable. You know what I mean? And it starts with me, and and so he's.
We can't bench McDaniels if everybody's accountable. Why can't we bench McDaniels? Why can't we bench McDaniels, huh? And who wrote this? I think I read it. I love this statement, Silver Raider. How do we get behind a coach who sabotages players? Again, do all the players think that's what he did? Some of the players might have been against Derek Carr. Some of them might not have been. People understand Derek Carr's limits. Is he being sabotaged? People would say, nope, it's because Derek Carr sucks. You can't prove intent. But it's true. This is the problem of this decision from Josh McDaniels. A lot of players on the team next year, we're going to talk about them, like Davante Adams. We're going to talk about these players and how they're going to feel moving forward. What is Josh McDaniels saying to the players that are going to be left over on the roster? They're saying this is no longer the Raiders. This is the Patriots. And this is the Patriot way, where nobody has any fun. You can be cut at the tip of a dime. You cannot speak out against a coach. You cannot speak out social media-wise or whatever. And basically, they're trying to bring a dynasty and a championship to the Raiders, but then it truthfully no longer becomes the Raiders. It was not built from the Raiders up. It was built from the Patriots dynasty up. And then you get rid of the Raider players that we kind of do love and respect. And you ruin their legacy. Mark Davis, man, we got to talk about him in a little bit. I don't want to watch no more of this shit show. We already know what he's doing, what he's up to. Guys, please hit that thumbs up, that like, that subscribe button. Consider super chat, questions, donations. I appreciate it. I could use the help. Oh, my goodness. All right, so you know what? Let's watch the reaction of Josh Jacobs and Davante Adams and Darren Waller. And I got a bone to pick with each and every one of them. I did see this reaction. I didn't see the whole McDaniels press conference. But I did see this reaction, and let's talk. Am I mad at them? Do I hate them? Yeah, I got some issues, guys. Let me bring that up.
Does what happened to Derek just really signify to players that this is a business?
What happened to Derek? Does it signify that this is a business? Whether Josh Jacob wants to say it's bullshit or he doesn't agree with what happened, you can't say anything. Just like you can't say anything about the referees in the NFL. You can't talk shit or you can't say anything about the coaches publicly. That's why in his previous press conferences after the game, he just said he's tired of it, that they went away from the game plan. He was calling out McDaniels. Now they're saying, is this a business? And he wants to say what's on his mind. But he can't. I wish he would. I wish he would truthfully say how he feels about Derek Carr personally. But you can't do that publicly. So watch, he thinks about it, and then he goes, yeah, it's a business. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a business. I mean, but you know, I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely different. I've seen a lot of things in my 4 years here, so yeah.
How did you hear about it, and what was your first reaction?
I mean, they told us this morning in the squad meeting, and I mean, I feel like my reaction was just like everybody. Like, we didn't see him in the meeting, so we were just like, okay, kind of, put two and two together.
All right, so there's a big clue of what he just said right there. He said that we all knew that he was going to be benched because we didn't see him in the meeting this morning. All right, just because you don't see a player in a meeting doesn't automatically mean they've been benched. They could have been missing because they were sick or something else or whatever other reason. He didn't say that. He said we knew what was going on because Derek Carr did not show up to the meeting or he wasn't there. So that means that they have known, whether McDaniels told them or told Derek Carr about these possibilities a couple weeks earlier, or the writing has been on the wall in the locker room as well, based off our fan comments, and they all know what's really going on because of us video makers and everybody else. That's proof right there that even the players are tuned in to what's happening, or they were notified by the coaches, maybe like that there's a possibility they might sit Derek Carr weeks ago.
What did you feel like? Kind of how quickly was it time to move on? Like, do you guys kind of just talk about that, or does everybody just kind of understands that already?
I mean, we can't control none of that. It's not like it's our decision. So just come in and work each day.
You're obviously very passionate about what you said the other night after the game. How much did you kind of hear about that afterwards? People kind of reacted to it, and I mean, obviously Josh very much supported you, and I think a lot of people supported what you said.
I mean, I told the truth, so I mean that's my truth. I don't, if people felt some type of way about it, then I don't really care. It is what it is.
Josh, a question for you personally.
Wow, he's like, I don't care, or what did he say? Something I kind of missed it. I was reading a chat.
Passionate about what you said the other night after the game. How much
about what he said the other night
afterwards? People kind of reacted to it, and I mean, obviously Josh very much supported you, and I think a lot of people supported what you said.
I mean, I told the truth, so I mean that's my truth. I don't, if people felt some type of way about it, then I don't really care. It is what it is.
Yeah, people keep thinking he was talking about Derek Carr. Listen to his statements. He said that we went away from what we do in the game plan. We went away from it. We didn't run the ball as much when we should have. We went away from it. How is that Derek Carr? The play calling is on Josh McDumbash. So he was speaking his truth.
Josh, a question for you personally. When you look at your contract, because next year obviously they didn't pick up the option, do you consider, I mean, is it your thoughts to come back, man, do I want to play? Do I want to be careful? Because you want to avoid injury too. I
don't care about that, bro. I play football, bro. I'm not one of them guys that think about injury. I'm not one of them guys that, I mean, at the end of the day, the reason why I do this is the guys in the locker room, man. I feel like I would be flawed for them not to be able to see me out there when I compete, and nothing is wrong with me. That would be flawed to me, and I couldn't even look them in the eye if they was to do it to me. So I would never do nothing like that. I don't even think about that. I come here and work each day. At the end of the day, if I'm here next year, which I want to be, but if I'm not, I'm still working to be better. So that's my.
I don't know what he said there. Something about whether they would not play Josh Jacobs based off of injury or this or that. He's like, I'm going to play. I'm going to play. Of course you're going to play. Josh McDaniels doesn't have a contract, a $40 million guaranteed contract with you next year. He declined everything and you're playing good for him. So why would he even bench you to not get injured for a contract? He's going to continue running you into the ground. You're his milk. You're his cow. Josh Jacobs, you're his freaking cow right now. And that's nothing wrong with it. Go out there and get your money. I don't think it'll be with the Raiders. I wouldn't want it to be with the Raiders based off of your last 4 years. Unless Josh McDaniels can salvage this. And I don't know what he can do. I think Josh Jacobs is a fan of Derek Carr, likes Derek Carr, wanted to be a Raider, but he's fed up with everything organizationally. I think he's going to go out and get his money from another team. But if Derek Carr comes back to the team somehow, Josh McDaniels apologizes and realizes everything he did was really bad optically, I don't know. There's going to be a ton of questions this offseason. What up, 818 Raider? I see you, brother. I love you, man. I've missed you. It's been a while.
My thoughts.
How does it feel to have the validation of your peers around the league and the fans of being selected as a Pro Bowler this year?
It's cool. You know, it's cool. I mean, I feel like.
All right, he's talking about the Pro Bowl. Let's get to Darren Waller or whoever else's reaction.
Whatever, and they looking guys down, and everybody's finding the ball. Like
Josh Jacobs is going to say and do all the right things. He's going to say good things about Stidham. He's a good man, but he's hurting. He's frustrated, and I think he knows he's moving on as well, and he's going to get his money. Will he play as hard for Josh McDaniels and try to avoid an injury so he possibly doesn't get injured while he becomes a free agent? That's another thing that might happen. Josh McDaniels might try to run him into the ground. And Josh Jacobs, I'm not saying that he would tank or sabotage, but why would he want to possibly get injured in a real bad fashion before he gets money? I know in this statement somewhere he said about he's got a lot of money, he doesn't worry about money. And I think that was earlier we heard. He's got a lot of money, he doesn't worry about money. We all do. But you got to worry about your career as well. Do you want to play for a guy that sabotages his quarterback, benches him for money, and help Josh McDaniels look good to save money while you possibly get injured for a man you know you're not going to play with or a team you know you're not going to play with next year? I mean, that's up to you, Josh Jacobs, whatever you want to do. Hopefully Josh McDaniels is a man of his word, which we know he's not. But if it's a tough game, you're struggling to run, let him put in Zamir White or his other guys from the Patriots. Why not let him see what we got out of our rookie running backs? Britton Brown or whatever his name is. Instead of injuring Josh Jacobs before he comes a free agent by running you into the ground even more. Like when you broke your pinky or whatever, and then he put you in the next play to throw the ball. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. A lot to watch in this game coming up, guys.
you can use it as leverage, you can use it as whatever, but like, I mean, yeah, yes and no. I mean, you can use it as leverage, you can use it as whatever, but like, I don't think about that, bro. Like, I got enough money, you know what I'm saying? I make great investments. I'm good. Like, that's not something I really think about, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, like.
That's what he's talking about. He's talking about becoming a free agent, and if he gets injured on the field or whatever, and he can use this season as leverage. I did watch this video earlier. I did. Oh, no, I watched this one. I didn't watch the Josh McDaniels press conference. I saw this one. That's why I knew what he said.
You want to get
Come
paid,
on.
obviously, but like that's not something I come here and be like, okay, yeah, I need to do this, do this, do this to get that. Like I feel like I work and everything else gonna take care of itself. Like how I present myself and the way I go about my business is everything else is gonna take care of itself for real.
How have you been able to help Zamir White?
Man, Z, he's very, very athletic, very, raw talent. He's one of them guys where I just try to, for him, like, he got all the attributes that you look for, in a great runner, whether it's running, catching, or even blocking, you know what I'm saying, power, everything, speed.
Was that
For
Zamir
me,
White?
the only thing I feel like I really help him with is just
I thought I had Darren Waller and Devante Adams on here as well.
kind of easier to come in.
So, I mean, how tough is it to separate those things?
Okay.
Oh
here we
yeah,
go.
naturally it's tough, but I believe two things can coexist. So we're rallying around.
Use him going on in the future.
I want to watch the Darren Waller with you guys and comment.
You heard good news.
It's a reaction where you got to kind of take emotions out of it and just realize that the only thing that would be productive is to support Jared going forward, and guys are excited about him being able to get an opportunity. So we're rallying around him, letting him know that we believe in him, and just trying to do what we can to prepare for San Francisco.
How difficult is it to take the emotions out? I mean, obviously it's an emotional thing, right? I mean, somebody you've been alongside with loses a job essentially. So, I mean, how tough is it to separate those things?
Oh yeah, naturally it's tough, but I believe two things can coexist, like believing in Derek, believing that he will always be able to get it done, but also supporting Jared and moving forward with this week and preparing. So I think that the two can coexist.
What have you seen out of Jared?
I see him locked in, especially like the reps that he gets in practice throughout the season, making a lot of good throws. A lot of guys have been excited about him, just his overall knowledge of the offense, just being in the system for years prior. So we're excited for him. We support him, and can't wait to see what he does.
There's obviously a big difference too between being the backup and preparing and being the starter, like a leadership kind of mentality.
I mean, let's be honest. Waller has done some shady shit this year as well. There's also video footage of his girlfriend meeting with Tom Brady, and Tom Brady loves quarterbacks. And Darren Waller has really not been in Derek Carr's corner all year like he was in years past. I guess Derek Carr was a means to an end to make, because he loves Darren Waller. And Josh McDaniels didn't give Darren Waller a weapon a couple of weeks ago when we were still trying to get into the playoffs when he was available. Because I believe Josh McDaniels knew that Waller would be another outlet for Derek Carr to throw the ball to in the second half besides Davante Adams. So that's why Josh McDaniels sabotaged that game as well and not giving Darren Waller that week to play with Derek Carr, because he is Derek Carr's outlet. And Derek Carr, when he can't throw the ball to Davante, he struggles. And he would have thrown the ball to Waller a lot in that game and maybe won the game. But Josh McDaniels took out Darren Waller, didn't let him play in that game. And then we lost in the second half again to Baker Mayfield and whatever. And it just, it doesn't make sense. It seems like Josh McDaniels took away a lot of things from Derek Carr to be successful at many times. All right, 818 Raider, man, you've supported me throughout the years. I just want to tell you I love you, brother. So I wanted to get to your question. You're an amazing dude. Thank you for the love and support. In Adams' interview, he pretty much admitted that if it wasn't for Carr, he wouldn't be here. He might sit out. No Carr, no Adams, no JJ, hopefully. McDaniels, K, what is he doing? Again, there's going to be, you're right, possibly no Carr. What's going to happen to Davante Adams? He has an attitude. We're going to talk about that in a minute. What's going to happen with him? Josh Jacobs, I think he's gone. What is he doing is correct. He's building his team. He's getting rid of people that don't agree with him or he doesn't think are good enough in his system. And the ones that do play good, he's running them into the ground and he's taking advantage of business opportunities to hire and get younger and cheaper. And I know he's trying to build a dynasty. I know that. I know he's trying to just win, baby. But he's doing it the wrong way. He's doing it the Patriot way, while sabotaging the fans, the legacy of Derek Carr, players, their emotions, using Derek Carr's leverage to get Davante Adams. It's all fucking shady. Just like the Patriots always were. It's always been shady. And now Mark Davis has come along, and he's a shady as fuck individual now as well. Thank you for the support, my dude. Let's get to the... Darren Waller always looks drunk, man. Like he's just out of rehab. Or he's just out of a binger in his eyes and everything.
Personality to
To
go
me.
out there and do well.
This team obviously had a lot of off-field distractions last year. This is setting up to be a little bit of a circus this week with all the media attention. Is the team ready for that distraction, I guess, of everything that's going to be happening this week with swirling around with the Carr situation?
Yeah, I believe there's a lot of mature guys on the team. Like you said, last year there's a lot of opportunities for us to be distracted by media attention with a lot of things that were going on. So I believe we have experience with that, but just guys that know how to show up, support their teammates, and just, come in and do your job to the best of your ability.
Because of some of the great
Free thinker, dude. I love you because you're a free thinker, and I do enjoy your questions. You wrote, just win means winning by any means necessary. All right. I understand that statement. But do you want to make enemies? And are you not a human being that can try to build long-lasting friendships and relationships for years? I would rather build a winning team that way than by cutting everybody off, the fan base and everybody by their knees just to get ahead. That is selfish, that is wrong, and it's fucking evil.
seasons you have. I mean, you and Derek are probably linked forever. People remember him throwing to you no matter how this plays out. So have you gotten a chance to talk to him at all since then or saying?
Not yet. No, I plan on reaching out to him a little bit later.
How did you guys?
All right, so you notice this. I watched the Davante Adams comment earlier. They asked Davante if he talked to Derek. He said, yeah, I already talked to him. Now they asked Darren Waller at the same time, did he talk to Derek Carr? He's like, no, I haven't talked to him. I'll reach out to him later. That means that in Derek Carr's time of sadness, he didn't go up to Darren Waller, or Darren Waller didn't go up to him, but Derek Carr went to Devante Adams, and Derek Carr or Davante Adams went up to Derek Carr in his time of sadness and need. Darren Waller, nope. That shows you their relationship and how close it is nowadays. By him not even having talked to Derek Carr up to that point, proves that there was some sort of a disconnect of them these past year and a half or 2 years.
Find out, was it like an announcement, or you just kind of look around and see it wasn't here? What was the process?
It was just communicated to us by Coach McDaniels, and we received the news and then just moved on.
Yeah, how'd you find out? It was communicated to us by Josh McDaniels. Josh Jacobs said, we knew. We knew. Darren Waller, it was communicated to us. I didn't know what was going on. It was communicated to us. And what did you do after? Oh, we just moved on. We just moved on. Wow. Here's the truth of what a possible theory is for Tom Brady coming to the Raiders with Josh McDaniels next year. Darren Waller will be used as leverage to possibly get Tom Brady back to the Raiders in his 46th year. Why, Mikey Raider? Why would you say that? Because Tom Brady needs a Gronkowski. Darren Waller can be that player for Tom Brady. This is in the plan. Darren Waller is being saved as leverage for a possible Tom Brady, Josh McDaniels reunion.
Do you feel a bit more comfortable knowing that Jared knows, like, this system has worked with McDaniels in the past? Does that kind of give you guys a little bit more sense of, confidence in him?
Yeah, that was something that stood out in April about him, honestly. With the guys, like, we were coming in trying to learn everything, formations and everything, and he's up there calling out Mike and doing everything. So he's somebody that we've had comments like, oh, okay, like, he knows what he's doing. So guys have been asking him questions since we first started this whole thing. So we believe in him for sure.
There's lineup decisions all the time, right? I mean, guys are replaced in the lineup, move in and out, all those things. But this kind of feels different in that it's an era that almost is coming to an end. Like, is that kind of processed yet, or is that just kind of not, you don't have time to do that at this point?
I don't really know if now is the time. Like, you understand and respect what Derek has done over the last 10 years, and that will always be respected, always be appreciated by guys around here, and anybody that's ever played here has been a fan here. But I think it's fair to, support Jared as well in this time and just prepare for the challenge that we got on Sunday.
That was nicely said, Darren Waller. I mean, I like that last statement. Again, you're not a bad guy. You're about becoming famous, rapping, getting more money. But you said some nice things about Carr at the end, about respecting him, and I appreciate that. All right, guys, let's get into the big one. Appreciate your comments. Please hit that like, that subscribe. Now let's watch this. This is the big one to me. Okay? Want you guys to chime in. Hopefully I see it. Davante Adams was brought to the Raiders to finally give Derek Carr a weapon, his best friend, and they have played well together. Not perfect. Why is Davante Adams not being targeted in the second half? Is McDaniels taking him away, or is Derek Carr just not throwing the ball correctly to him? Does Davante Adams, is he being put all around the field in the correct positions at all times? I do not know. All I know is Derek Carr and Davante Adams can make every play that's needed and necessary of them. Maybe not all the time. He'll occasionally throw the ball or not catch the ball. And Derek Carr has limitations, and he overthrows, underthrows. His accuracy is an issue at many times as well. But we all know that they're a good tandem. And when the play calling is right, we can see that magic on the field. Okay? I think it was last week's game, or a couple weeks' game, or maybe 2 games this entire year, where Davante Adams had like 150 yards in the first half on like 10 catches, 10 targets, or whatever, against a good defense or a bad defense. Then the past game, the same scenario happened. He had like 110 yards in the first half. Then all of a sudden, he's not targeted, and he's got no catches in the second half. And then everybody's like, well, that's on Derek Carr. That's on Derek Carr. No. That's on the play calling, on where they position Davante Adams. That's McDaniels making a choice decision to not move Davante Adams, to leave him in the same route where he knows he's going to be double or triple covered. And Derek Carr does what his coach says. Derek Carr has said it in almost every press conference early, even in the preseason. I want to do what Josh McDaniels tells me to do. I want to throw the ball what Josh McDaniels tells me to throw the ball. Do you think for a second Davante Adams couldn't got another 80 yards in any of those games where he had over 150 yards in the first half? You don't think he can get another 60 yards in that game? He can get another 4 catches at least? It's all on Derek Carr. How stupid and blind do you have to be to reality? You're a fucking sheep. That is sabotage. That is Josh McDaniels going away from the game plan as Josh Jacobs, Devante Adams, Hunter Renfrow, and many others have said this entire year. What is working in the first half somehow doesn't work anymore in the second half. Oh, it's because the other team made adjustments. The other team, they figured out McDaniels' game plan. Oh, the other team figured out Derek Carr, so they rushed him more or they blitzed him more. And Derek Carr has the yips. It's the defense, everything. It's not on Josh McDaniels and his play calling. Are you fucking mental? Are you mental? Why could not Davante Adams have bigger second halves in many games? Why did Derek Carr only throw the ball like 30, 40 times in the snow where he doesn't play good? Why wasn't the game plan to run Josh Jacobs like he did all year? These are conscious decisions by a head coach to either lose the game, make somebody look bad, or he thinks he knows the correct way to win every time. And then when it doesn't go right, he can blame Derek Carr. Just what a lot of you guys are doing. Again, Derek Carr needs to move on. For him, himself, whatever. He is limited. He's still a top 15 quarterback. The best quarterback for the Raiders. Stop cheering on this man's legacy ending. Now let's watch Davante Adams' response after they used Derek Carr and their friendship to get him to this team. And Davante Adams knows what Josh McDaniels is doing in the second half of games and how he's basically putting Derek Carr at unfavorable positions that Derek Carr cannot handle all the time correctly. Derek Carr has limitations, certain play calls he doesn't understand. He probably doesn't know Josh McDaniels' entire system. It's too complicated, and it doesn't benefit Derek Carr's good traits. Josh McDaniels not only exposed Derek Carr's weaknesses within his system, but Josh McDaniels, in my opinion, exposed that he was going to expose Derek Carr and move on. What's going to happen to Davante? Let's watch his reaction to the news that Baby A-Rod, as he liked to call him, one of the best quarterbacks he's had in his career, whether it be at high school, at college, or for the Raiders. Again, he's not Aaron Rodgers, not as good as Aaron Rodgers, but Derek Carr is a fantastic quarterback with Davante Adams as well. Let's see what Davante Adams has to say after leaving the Packers for this shit to play with his best friend who is possibly no longer going to be a Raider. And Davante grew up wanting to be a Raider and is now proud to be a Raider. And now they're removing all the Raider memories and legacy of his best friend, somebody he knows he can win with if he had the right coaching, that we're not sabotaging players.
kind of the reaction when you got the news?
Well, I mean, I don't want to sit here and make this entire thing about that. I think we're just gonna knock this out in a little single hitter here. But I mean, obviously, I don't think anybody was excited about it in here.
There it is. I don't think anybody was excited. But many of you fans or so-called fans of the Raiders and not Derek Carr, you're all excited. You're all excited for this man's demise. Where's your humanity for a good dude?
You know, him being one of my really good friends, and you know the reason why I came here in the first place. I mean, I wouldn't be here right now if he wasn't here. So I think everybody knows how I feel about him, and you know, with that said, there's a process of how things go, and I'm not gonna sit here and go on and on. But obviously, I support my guy, and you know, we got to finish this season out, you know, the best way we can possible with, you know, all things considered at this point. But yeah, anything else that you guys got, you can leave that for Coach or Derek.
Woo! Thank you very much, Alex. I appreciate it. Look, he just spoke his truth. He wouldn't be there if it wasn't for Derek Carr. So even if Derek Carr is gone and they get rid of him and Davante stays, you got to respect Derek Carr because he helped bring one of the best wide receivers to our team. Derek Carr did everything to work with anybody they brought in, AB, anybody, befriended them. Derek Carr's a good dude. And you guys are rooting on his demise and rooting on Josh McDaniels sabotaging his legacy in a bad fashion. It's ridiculous. Davante Adams even said that there's a process to all of this, and that means it's a business. But I would not hate it if Derek Carr is officially cut or released, knowing that Davante Adams already has a contract and that he was basically lured or tricked into coming to the Raiders. If he can prove it to himself that Josh McDaniels was going to sabotage Derek Carr and get rid of him all along, if Davante Adams can figure that out in himself, he might come to the conclusion that he was tricked to come to this team, and he might be a holdout in training camp. He might request a trade. He might even ask to be a package deal with Derek Carr if he's released, or if somehow they take on his $40 million and if they try to trade him. Again, it doesn't look like they can trade him because they're benching him to save $40 million. You guys watched earlier in the show. If you don't understand what I'm saying, we go into Derek Carr's contract and how he can possibly not be traded because of a trade clause. And then also they're benching him to save money on his contract because it becomes fully guaranteed right after the Super Bowl. And his contract becomes fully guaranteed if he's injured. That's why they're not playing him. Watch earlier in the video, the first 30, 40 minutes of it. You'll enjoy it. But Davante Adams might book it. I think Jacobs is going to be gone. Pretty sure Carr's going to be gone. I'm pretty sure Davante Adams might book it. Might go back to Green Bay. Or there's a possibility maybe they trade for Aaron Rodgers or something like that. I don't know. We're going to have to figure that out in the offseason. Or Davante Adams will just man up. Him and Derek Carr will talk. Davante Adams will make the right decision. And maybe he'll stay and play. And maybe he'll play with Tom Brady. You know, he wants to go to a Super Bowl. He loved the Raiders. So that's still in the cards. And then also, if Jared Stidham looks very good in the next 2 games targeting Davante Adams because Josh McDaniels will make the playbook perfect for Jared Stidham to target Davante, and then maybe Davante will feel good. Oh, Jared Stidham's pretty good. Like he might be thinking, oh, Derek Carr couldn't get me the ball because of Josh McDaniels. But he might think, oh, Derek Carr didn't give me the ball. Jared Stidham looks pretty good. All right, I'll trust him for another year. And then Davante Adams might stay. A lot of decisions to be made, my Raider Nation family. A lot of decisions need to be made. All right, let's finish this and let's get some questions from them. And we're going to discuss the state of the Raiders. And we're going to discuss the 49er game and a couple of other thoughts before I get on out of here in about a half an hour. My blood is boiling. I am ashamed and I am sad about the transparency of this team, the coaches not understanding how to do people right, not knowing how to end things in a better fashion. I think they're doing it all wrong. They're doing it all wrong. And that's the history of the Raiders, it seems, for 30 years or whatever it's been, doing it all wrong.
Does this change anything about how you view where you are and the situation moving forward?
Well, we got 2 games left. We got the Niners this week, and then we got another game to go and finish. So that's really all that I'm really focused on.
You reach out to Derek tonight and talk to him a little bit?
Well, we spoke already, so we'll, we talked. Probably won't talk again tonight, but yeah, we spoke already.
Devante, for you, how do you want to finish this season based on the standards that you set for yourself?
Same way that I approach every single game. I mean, it's not the first time that the quarterback that I started the season with is not going to be finishing the season, whether it was injury or otherwise. So, you got the ball keeps rolling. Got to figure it out. I've played 8 years without him, and that was what I had to do then, and this is what I have to do for the remainder of the season, and then moving forward, we'll see how everything goes from there.
What have you liked about practicing with Jarrett now getting his opportunity?
You said what I liked about it?
What stands out about him as a quarterback?
I mean, you got a guy that doesn't have really any experience out there. He's just kind of playing loose, and sometimes that can help him. Whatever's going to be, allow him to go out there and play to the best of his ability. Obviously we support and want to encourage him to do the best that he can. Obviously, for the betterment of the team and himself as well.
Thank you guys for chiming in. I appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up, that like, that subscribe button. I'll be online for another half an hour, but I'm starting to not feel so good. My blood boils, my heart pressure goes up, everything when I'm sad. That's why I don't do a lot of videos. Health-wise, I just can't handle it. And I'm fed up. I'm hurt. I'm fed up. And again, I don't want to break it down to whether Carr is good in one game or that game or all year. It's not about that. I'm looking bigger picture, guys. Can you honestly say, whether you hate Carr or not, can you honestly say this is the right way to go about it? To bench somebody that's the greatest quarterback for the Raiders? And people say, yeah, it's a business. You got to do it that way. You don't. You don't have to run your business evil. I think you'll catch more bees with honey than with salt. It's really, really sad, guys. So let's just talk about the state of the Raiders, guys, from this moment on. Guys, I love the Raiders. I love the imagery, I love the legacy. I love the passion. I love the fans. I love the players. Some of them. I love the coaches. I didn't really want John Gruden back for my personal reasons. I still loved him. I want to love every human being. I still love Josh McDaniels. I was rooting for him to be a good coach. But like I soured on Gruden after he was traded at the hands of Al Davis, and I believe they did sabotage with Bill Callahan for that Super Bowl year. Same thing's happening 20 years later. We got Gruden back in a reversal of fortune. Then he's gone. Then we got a Patriot. And now there's sabotage, I believe, toward getting rid of the best player that we have on our team. 20-something years ago, it was getting rid of our best coach we had. And Al Davis traded him for comments he made. I guess John Gruden, his ego was too big. Al Davis traded him. Nobody's bigger than the organization. Okay. Derek Carr has never disrespected this organization. But yet he's basically being traded for a Patriot. For people that ruined our dynasties in the tuck rule game and people that talk shit all the time about us, Mark Davis, the son of Al, is ruining the Raiders' legacy for a Patriot dynasty. I have no problem with coaches moving on from players, but try to do it in the right way. John Gruden moved on from Khalil Mack. I thought he did it in a little bit of a bad way, but we found out later that Khalil Mack didn't want to play for Gruden. We found that out later. Okay. We all know that John Gruden vouched for Derek Carr when there was a Mark Davis trying to trade for Tom Brady in 2020. Mark Davis was trying to trade for him in 2020, and John Gruden vouched for Derek Carr and nixed the trade. Nixed it. Then Tom Brady publicly went on air and said, "You're not going to pick me up, but you're going to keep that effing guy," talking about Derek Carr. Oh, Tom Brady knew Derek Carr sucked. Relax. Haters, relax. That was disrespect that Tom Brady said against Derek Carr, a faithful, good human being and the best quarterback for the Raiders at that time and statistically. That was disrespect at our organization. Remember when he said it was a fumble? When he talked to Charles Woodson on a live broadcast and he laughed about it? He's like, well, it doesn't matter. We won Super Bowls. He laughed in Charles Woodson's face in that public broadcast about the tuck rule. Now, Mark Davis, wanting to win and wanting to do what's right for the team, had no other options but to fire John Gruden, his guy. John Gruden stuck up for Derek Carr, kept him a part of this team, and made Derek Carr better. Of course, it took a couple of years, but we went to the playoffs even with Rich Bisaccia. Mark Davis had to fire John Gruden publicly because cancel culture, PC culture, wokeism, whatever you want to call it, entered. Derek Carr was still on that team and understood the system now. That's why we won the games with Rich Bisaccia, because he is a good human being coach. Rich Bisaccia was our interim coach. He's a good man, and everybody on the Raiders saw it and knew it. And Derek Carr is a true leader. I'm not saying he's the best player on the field, but he was a true leader at times of adversity and turmoil. And with everything that happened, even without Davante Adams, Derek Carr, Rich Bisaccia, and that group rallied to win 5 or 6 games at the end, to go into the playoffs, to barely lose to the Super Bowl championships in the playoffs, to the Bengals, to the Super Bowl contenders in the Bengals in the playoffs. Derek Carr did that with Rich Bisaccia. That says everything there is to know about Derek Carr and the leadership and him being a Raider on this team. That couldn't even get Derek Carr an extra 2 games in his possible last season under Josh McDumbash. It's evil. It's wrong. But it's just business. He wants to evaluate Jared Stidham. I understand that. But it's still wrong for this franchise, for our fan base, for Derek Carr, for his legacy. He may never, ever wear the Raider gear again or throw a ball on the field. He's not even the backup to Jared Stidham in this game. He's the 3rd string. They might not even dress Derek Carr just to disrespect him even more for this game. That's how bad we've fallen to get rid of one of our own. I know we need to get rid of him, but they're doing him like that damn movie where the guy shot his brother because his brother was mentally retarded. Remember, he shot his brother, Sam, or whatever his name was. Or they killed the dog in that damn movie. Remember that dog or something that had rabies or something like that? I don't know, man. But that's what's going on with Derek Carr. And they're doing it for money, for agendas, to bring in the Patriot way. We are no longer the Las Vegas Raiders. We are the Las Vegas Patriots. Do you guys want to sacrifice our slogans, our dynasty, our legacy to do players like this? He's hurting Davante Adams as well by this decision. He's hurting Josh Jacobs. He's hurting a lot of players on that team. But it's okay. Because Josh McDaniels can do what? I can just cut them. They don't mean nothing to me. If they're not one of my guys, if they talk shit about me, or if they don't understand my system, you're fucking gone. Mark Davis gave me the leeway. I'm the coach. I can do whatever I want. We still don't even know his contract. How long does Josh McDaniels have, and how much money is he getting per year? If John Gruden was getting $10 million a year for 10 years, Josh McDaniels is probably at least getting half, if not $6 million a year, and he probably got a 4-year deal, 5-year deal. He probably would request that because everybody knows 2 or 3 or 4 years is not really enough to build a team, per se. Mark Davis is screwing this organization as well. His ineptitude, he's trying to be a businessman. He's trying to be a part of the elites. Let's call them let's call it the Illuminati. But Mark Davis is doing everything backwards and not from his gut. He falls in line with the NFL agenda. He falls in line. He doesn't question anything like Al Davis would. He doesn't fight back like Al Davis would. He doesn't fight the NFL. He doesn't take them to court. He doesn't sue them when they get rid of his head coach. He doesn't have any fucking passion or will to fight the power. He gives it up blindly. I don't know football. Whatever Josh McDaniels says, I'll do because he has a winning culture with the Patriots. Mark Davis, I know you led this team to a new stadium out of Oakland. And you helped lead the way. You got us a stadium. But did you really get it for us? Or was it the billionaires in Vegas? Was it the NFL? Was it Jerry Jones that really did it for us? Because they all get more money when the Raiders make money. Again, it's a pool. It's an entire pool, Mark Davis, where the money is separated between all teams. If you're in Vegas, you get better ad revenue. If you get a Super Bowl at the stadium, you get better ad revenue. Then on top of that, the lawyers and the real people got the taxpayers in Vegas to pay for the stadium. The NFL basically really didn't have to fork out as much of their own money, of the league money. And then you, Mark Davis, didn't have to fork out even more. You put out $400 million when you probably would have needed $800 million, which you don't have. It's all shady, Mark Davis. It's all fucking shady. Every single thing you're doing, even the decision to bring back Gruden was shady. You were doing that to appease the fans because all the fans can remember is when they were winning with Gruden and how he's a personality on television. You saw the flashing lights and you're like, I have an opportunity to get the flashing car. I have an opportunity to get the Tesla with flashing lights. John Gruden's available. I'm going to give him 10 years, $100 million. I don't care what he does to the franchise. Same thing you did with Josh McDaniels. Once Gruden is gone and you had to fire him, you saw Josh McDaniels as a flashing light Tesla that can drive themselves. You don't have to really be a general manager or an owner. You can let John Gruden drive himself like a Tesla. You can now let Josh McDaniels drive himself like a Tesla because you don't know football. I just want to eat the hot dog, sit in the stands with beautiful girls that I paid from Instagram or TikTok. I want to go gambling. I want to eat at P.F. Chang's, and I want to get my bowl haircut. But I want to look like I'm trying to please the fans and do what they tell me. Here's your first and only mistake, Mark Davis, that led to everything. The minute you fired the other coaches, got rid of Dennis Allen, blah, 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 and the minute John Gruden was available, you should have hired from within house. Somebody that's been on the roster as a coach for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, whatever the case is, if they even survived with all the coaches and general managers you fired, you should have hired from within house. But I'm going to let that one go. You signed John Gruden. You got John Gruden. That's your guy. The Raider fans love him. It's all good. All right? But now, after you had to fire John Gruden, Rich Bisaccia, never having a head coaching gig, came out with the help of Derek Carr and the other players, solidified that entire team, and we went to the playoffs. The team should have went at least to Rich Bisaccia the next season for 1 year to see what it can do. If we can build upon that, and still you could have went out and got Davante Adams and done whatever you wanted to do. You should have hired Rich Bisaccia for at least 1 year. But McDaniels became available, and you threw somebody that was amazing for the Raiders, that helped lead us to the playoffs, and that is a good man, and you threw him to the curb for the flashing fucking Tesla with lights and the Patriot fucking way. You threw him to the curb. You could have at least hired somebody in-house that was under Gruden to continue Gruden's system. You could have hired somebody the next year that would work with Derek Carr, maybe in the same system. They could talk to Gruden and build, albeit backwards through the phone. You could have done that to create the Raider way with John Gruden. I didn't want him as a coach. I understand that. But it's still the better option to hire people from in-house. It's still the better option to create a Raider legacy. John Gruden was originally a Raider. Even though he went to the Bucs and they were sabotage bullshit, he came back to the Raiders. He was a changed man. He vouched for Derek Carr. He tried to bring on players that'll win, and he tried to do his best, and then he got PC cultured, he got canceled, and then he's gone. Why the hell did you not hire Rich Bisaccia again, Mark Davis? Or, in fact, why did you not let somebody that was under Gruden's squad be on our team as the head coach moving forward, building a Raider way out? Then you lied. You lied to the fans and you said it's not a rebuild. It's not a reset. It's a retool. Guys, I don't even want to speak the words that are in my head right now. I honestly do not know if I want to be a Raider fan anymore. That's how broken I am. That's what the Raiders did to Derek Carr. And everybody wants to make fun of him for crying and showing passion. Well, you're fucking fools. Real men show passion. Real men cry because they are hurt. Okay? It's okay to move on, Derek Carr. It's okay. We need a fresh start too, as a Raider organization. You know, it's like, is the rainbow brighter at the other end? But Derek Carr has went along this ride for us for at least 10 years. Many of us have been on this ride for 30, 40, 50, 60 years. And the reason why everybody's being broken, whether it be Derek Carr, Davante Adams, the fan base being divided, the reason why is because beyond the blinders that everybody has, yes, Silver Raider, you wrote about Jack Del Rio, the way they did Jack Del Rio. You're right. Okay, so everybody with blinders on, the reason why we're all broken is because we can see beyond all this stuff at how Mark Davis and all the decisions and the way this organization is treating their players, their fans, their coaches, their general managers, and they're treating them the wrong way. They're going the opposite direction of what Al Davis wanted and respected and wanted for this team. To fight the NFL, to fight injustice, to have diversity, to have long-lasting players, this and this and this and this. Yes, Al Davis made decisions and cut players or traded players and all that. But he did it with, at the time, good intentions in his mind. Or he wanted to get rid of people that he truly thought was not a Raider. That's why he had the press conference at his old age, showing all the mistakes from his head coach that he fired. I forgot the guy's name. I think his dad coached for the 49ers. I think it was Shanahan. Not Callahan, Shanahan. When he had the press conference to fire that guy. Was it Shanahan? I don't know. But he fired some coach on a press conference and showed all the mistakes. And that's what we Raider video makers are trying to do. And you Raider fans, you all see it. The mistakes by Gruden, McDaniels, whoever. And we talk about it. We critique it. We don't blindly love and we don't blindly respect every decision they make. So that's why I'm asking everybody that is happy Derek Carr is being benched and move on. If you call yourself a Raider fan, you got to look at this organization as a whole. Do you want to be a Raider fan anymore when they treat people like this? Like it's just a business. Yeah, I can understand if it's just a business and we're winning. But when it's just a business and we're still losing and we're still disrespecting people and we're still firing people, hiring the wrong people, and we're not building from within, we're not drafting the right players, that ain't a good business. So many of you think this is good business. I don't. I, as a Raider fan, think it's a business of a family and of dedication and respect. And it is clearly no longer that. Many of you fans are now dead to me. Cheering on Derek Carr's end of his legacy. Not even having any empathy for him. Because it's all about the just win. All right. I get that. I understand that. But you got to look yourselves in the mirror. This ain't good business. This ain't good fandom. This ain't building a family. This ain't building trust. This is not building respect. I'd rather have a family than a Super Bowl win. I'd rather have a Raider Nation family without a Super Bowl win. I'd rather have a Raider Nation family that's not divided at every decision and against every player than a Super Bowl win. That's who I am as a video maker, and that's what I'm always going to be about, and that's why I fucking cry, because I don't know if I want to be a Raider anymore. I mean, we all know I'll never quit this team because it's in my blood, and y'all are my family. But I'm going to treat the Raiders like the government. I'm going to call out every conspiracy, every bullshit, everything I see, whether you guys like it or not. I'm not going to blindly applaud every decision that idiot people make while they destroy the Raiders' legacy. So in summary, we are no longer the Raiders. We are now the foundation to the Patriots. We are now the Las Vegas, Bill Belichick, Patriots way. Guys, give some phone calls to the hotline. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know your thoughts. Leave it under 3 minutes or whatever, and I'll probably do a show on Friday or Saturday, the latest. I want to air your guys' phone calls. I want your opinions because I can't get to all the chats in the comments. I do like the super chat ones though, but I can't get to all of them. So leave your voicemail on what you're thinking, whether it be you agree with me, you don't, whatever. It's fine. Everybody's open to their opinions and their judgment, but it's just what the world needs now. It's love, sweet love. And we all know Derek Carr is going to do that moving forward. Derek Carr is going to be the best man he can be because that's who he is. And we're going to hate to see him go even more because he's going to deal with this like a champion. I don't think there'll be any spite in his heart. I don't think he'll do anything against the Raiders moving forward to not come back 20 years from now and relive his legacy. He'll try to say and do all the right things. When I wouldn't even be mad if Derek Carr held out or if he kept on the team, request a trade, or I wouldn't mind it if he did. I'd be rooting for him. I'd be rooting for him. I just hope the fan base can realize he's like the ultimate Raider, whether he was the best player on the field or not. This dude lived up to all the values that I want from this franchise. Yeah, he was insecure. He fought back, said and did a lot of wrong things, but it's okay. It's okay. But he has a lot of the values that I wish were in this organization. And that's why he said it. I wish that there were people in that locker that feel the same way I do about this team and about this organization. I wish that people felt the same way in that locker room while they see what's really going on behind the scenes to sabotage me and the Raider legacy. I wish people could see and feel that way. Tim Brown was a conspiracy theorist as well, because these theories are becoming truths. Somebody told me this earlier in a chat. I think I read it. Derek Carr should write a book, a tell-all book. Let us know what happened in the Washington game. Let us know what happened with Gruden, with Khalil Mack, like whatever the controversy with Jack Del Rio, Josh McDaniels. I wish that Derek Carr would literally come out and Antonio Brown release all that stuff from his advantage point. He won't, though. He's not that type of dude. So I asked a simple question. You guys can chime in the forum or the chat room. Was Derek Carr done dirty by Josh McDaniels and the Raiders? I didn't say just Josh McDaniels. I'm talking the Raiders, meaning Mark Davis and all this. Was Derek Carr done dirty, from your opinion, by Josh McDaniels and the Raiders? All right, let's get into this. What's next? Sorry, let me try to catch up on my chat. What's next for Davante Adams, Josh Jacobs, Darren Waller, Derek Carr? Well, again, we spoke about Derek Carr. I told you guys the options. He's not being played, so he doesn't get injured because they don't want to fully guarantee the $40 million if he gets injured for next year. There is an option where they can cut him before the start of the new year, and they recoup that $40 million, but they get no value for him. If they keep him on the team and he's not injured, and they keep him on the team, $40 million is guaranteed, then they can possibly try to trade him. Again, who's going to pay the $40 million for a publicly now washed up quarterback from his head coach and the fans, some of the fans? Who's going to give us a first round pick and trade for a player like that to get value from him? I do not know. Again, what happens with Jared Stidham in the next 2 games? Will Josh McDaniels make Jared Stidham look very, very good? What will happen? I truly believe the writing is on the wall that they're blankly going to cut Derek Carr. Jared Stidham is going to look decent. Josh McDaniels is going to make him look good with the play calling and all that other shit to his traits. He'll look good. The media will say, yeah, McDaniels, Jared Stidham is the better quarterback than Derek Carr. And then Derek Carr will be released for no value, nothing, because you cannot milk a cow that has no milk left, as in Derek Carr. But anything could happen with Derek Carr. Again, God, faith, love, respect, everything, evaluation might enter the room. Jared Stidham might struggle. They're going to look at the quarterback options in the draft. If they like if Tom Brady might be available, before, Derek Carr's contract is guaranteed. And then they might come to a conclusion that Jared Stidham is not better than Derek Carr. Tom Brady might not become available or doesn't want to come to the Raiders. Or there's not a better rookie quarterback that we can get to play in year one. So we'll take on that $40 million for one more year with Derek Carr, and we'll try to trade him. But if worse comes to worse, he'll still be on the team for one more year, and we get to keep Davante Adams. And then, we'll move on from Derek Carr in year 3 of Josh McDaniels. That's a possibility, but then again, would Derek Carr want to play any further? Would Derek Carr request a trade? I mean, get rid of his no trade clause to allow them to trade him. There's a lot of things that need to be decisioned. We'll have a better viewpoint of what's going to happen to Derek Carr in about a month. In about a month, some more details will come out, and we can try to predict or subjectively try to figure out what everybody's thinking and how it's going to play out. But we truly do not know. But right now, at this point, if you had to ask me what's going to happen, I'm going to give it to you straight. Jared Stidham is going to look decent. Josh McDaniels is going to cut Derek Carr right around the Super Bowl when there's publicity. It won't be as big or something like that. And he's going to release Derek Carr. And then that's that. That's what I think is going to happen. I also think Derek Carr will think about retiring to prove his point to the Raider Nation that he doesn't want to play for any other team. But if this is a conspiracy theory like 20 years ago, we get Tom Brady, he goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If Derek Carr is released or traded, pending those scenarios, and he wants to go there and gives up his no trade clause or whatever, or he can pick a team if he wants to play. The Colts are probably going to be available. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be available. The New York Jets will be available. The Atlanta Falcons might be available, even though they got Desmond Ridder. So in a month, let's talk about this situation a little bit more. Let's get some of you guys' comment. Derek Carr's contract should just be restructured. Carlos, I'm not shaking my head at your question because it's a good question. It's just think about it. The way they're doing Derek Carr, benching him, proving they don't want to give him $40 million, do you think after having game plan issues with McDaniels, maybe Derek Carr thinks that he is sabotaging him? You think Derek Carr to play for Josh McDaniels again would be like, okay, I want to play for you even more. Even though you lied to Davante Adams and bringing him to the team, and you did all this stuff, and you ran Josh Jacobs into the ground, and you made the fan base fight me and get mad at me even more, and you benched me when we still have a chance at the playoffs. I mean, guys, we still have a chance at the playoffs. And our best option at quarterback is being benched. Just letting you know that. He ain't our best option, Mikey Raider. Yes, he is. So how about that for the just win mentality? When you say it's just a business, it's all about just win. But yeah, Carlos, do you think Derek Carr would restructure and come back to this shit show only to be degraded even more by the fans telling us we need to move on every time he throws an interception or he makes a mistake? No, there ain't no restructuring. Like McDumbass said, there is a finality to what's going on. What's up, my dude? I love you, brother. I've been trying to get on your show, but I'm an asshole, man. I'm lazy. I'm lazy. Love you, brother. Plus, plus, I'm unhealthy. I'll be honest with you. My blood is boiling. I don't even know how I'm still on the air right now. I really do not know. I just want to lie down, dude. I'm dying. Good to see you, brother. Let me see if anybody wanted to join live. I think I was going to send them the link if they put me a DM on Twitter. I don't know. Dave, I think Derek Carr might go ahead and retire, finally be with his family. Hey, God, I can't even think of your name right now, but Dux, are you sour on Derek Carr? Are you happy he's being benched? I was just wondering your feelings. I haven't been able to watch your guys' videos lately. Carr's got a problem. Yes, he does. Does everyone agree that Carr had a chance to prove McDaniels wrong by his play on the field, besides all the conspiracy bullshit? I just want to know. That's a good question, Silverface. Again, I know you're up to date with the conspiracies and this and that, but Derek Carr all year kept saying, I only want to do what Josh McDaniels tells me to do. I want to throw the ball what Josh McDaniels tells me to throw the ball. That was Derek Carr's way of telling everybody in the media and the fan base that Josh McDaniels is forcing Derek Carr's hand. What do I mean by that? Please try to pay attention here. By Derek Carr saying that, he's trying to let everybody know. People would think, oh, he's trying to place the blame on McDaniels when he messes up. Yes, he is trying to do that when he makes that statement. But Derek Carr is also letting everybody know that Josh McDaniels has his grip on his neck. Josh McDaniels is not building an offense around Derek Carr. Josh McDaniels is limiting Derek Carr to certain routes, certain players, and certain reads. So Derek Carr kind of maybe had an open system with John Gruden. But Josh McDaniels came in, and from day one, Derek Carr was telling everybody, I'm just going to throw the ball where Josh McDaniels tells me to. I'm going to follow my read, and I'm going to throw it in the area where Josh McDaniels tells me to. Why is Derek Carr saying that like 5 or 6 or 7 times and after every game? Because he's letting everybody know the truth of what happened on the practice field. What happened is, in a meeting or somewhere, Josh McDaniels shows no faith in Derek Carr. He's testing him. Then he also specifically told Derek Carr, probably pointed out every interception, every mistake, and said, throw the fucking ball where I tell you to. Only throw it to the area I want. That's in my playbook. Follow my playbook. Only throw it to this player and throw it to that player in that read according to my playbook. Don't go off script. I don't want you making, crazy reads. I don't want you making up play calls. I don't want you going off script. That will make you a better quarterback, Derek Carr, in my system. Throw the ball where I want you to. Throw the ball where I tell you to. I had Tom Brady. I know how to win. You do not, Derek Carr. That's why Derek Carr said every single time that exact quote and statement. I'm tired of it too, DeGaffa. Tony, this is what I'm trying to say. Derek Carr was set up for failure by Josh. Did Josh do it intentionally? No. He wants to win, but he wants to do it his way. And he tested Derek Carr. He wanted him in his system. and it wasn't working. Derek Carr questioned him. The team started losing early, and then Josh McDaniels was like, fuck it. I got Jared Stidham as a backup. But I can't just cut Derek Carr, bench Derek Carr. I gotta publicly make him look bad. So in the second half of games, I'm gonna make Derek Carr look good. And then games where I know Derek Carr is gonna struggle, I'm gonna make him throw the ball 40 fucking times. So the fan base can sour on Derek Carr, and then I can bring in my guy, and then I could possibly bring in another player. Was it all planned from day one of his hiring? No. But was it on the back burner as a potential plan? Yes. Raiders game, you're really tough, brother. You're really tough, man. You're the type of fan that I've been talking about all day. You say no nuts for Derek Carr, and I think you're saying that because you said Derek Carr could have proven, that he's better in McDaniel's system. But again, Derek Carr does what everybody tells him to. And that's maybe what your statement is in saying he has no nuts. Not everybody is Aaron Rodgers. Not everybody can go rogue. Not everybody's Tom Brady. Not everybody has a little bit of evilness to him. I have admitted in many videos, Derek Carr lacks a little bit of like anger, like a little bit of fire to go against people. Like, let's call it the Al Davis spirit. Derek Carr definitely lacks that, but he's still a good human being. And Derek Carr has grabbed his nuts at many times. But Derek Carr doesn't like to go against the grain and disrespect people because he's a man of respect and faith. I wouldn't say that he doesn't have any nuts, but I do wish he went rogue. I do wish he went rogue. And here's the truth. Knowing what we know now, if Derek Carr gets his opportunity to get on the field again, which he won't, he would have went rogue. Every play call that was ridiculous and bullshit moving forward, if he was playing, after knowing that they bench him for a game or two, he would have went rogue 2 weeks ago. He would have started throwing the ball to Davante. He would have started calling plays in the huddle. You do a go route. You do an out route. I'll get you the fucking ball. If he knew they were going to bench him and ruin his legacy. All right, let's speak about what's next for Davante Adams. There's a lot of scenarios here. Again, he's got a contract. He's under contract. He technically has to be a Raider next year. Will he be happy that his friend Derek Carr is gone? No. Is he pleased right now? No. He said it's a business, and it is, and he's going to go over, talk to lawyers. He's going to see his options. He's going to see what's going on in the next couple months and make a decision. He's not going to blindly be a Raider next year. He's disrespected as well. He understands Josh McDaniels went away from the game plan, as he said in other press conferences. And Davante didn't get the ball when he knew he could win. Play calling didn't feature Davante Adams at key moments. And they stopped moving Davante Adams around in the second half when he had like 180 yards in a game or two in the first half. All of a sudden, he just does a go route 10 times in triple coverage. That's not on Derek Carr. Davante Adams sees all of this. He spoke about it, then he stopped speaking. About 3 weeks ago, he stopped speaking in the press after the games. He just booked it. Gone. Because nothing's getting better. And that's not all on Carr. So Davante Adams has to figure out business-wise what's good for him, his family, his money. But he's technically a Raider, and Josh McDaniels knows this. So what can they do? They can't do anything on their end. You got a contract. We paid you. Fucking play. Shut up and play. Shut up and catch is what Josh McDaniels is thinking for next season. But Davante Adams is a man of principle. He played with Aaron Rodgers. and they speak up and they understand the truth of what's going on and they go against the grain. Davante Adams is a technically real Raider as well. So he's going to weigh his options. He could hold out if he feels that strongly, or he could just be a corporate guy and shut up and play. But if he wants to make an announcement that he was done dirty, that he was lied to, being brought onto the team, that they did his friend Derek Carr dirty, that they did his favorite organization dirty out of respect and everything, I mean, with lack of respect, if he comes to that agreement, Davante Adams might be a holdout, might request a trade, or anything. That's from my opinion. Now, what will Davante do? In my opinion, again, depending on if Aaron Rodgers or Derek Carr comes back next year, again, depending on a lot of those things. If Derek Carr doesn't come back, it's all done. Aaron Rodgers is not coming to the Raiders. Josh Jacobs is not coming back. Josh McDaniels is, I don't know, whatever. I think Davante Adams should hold out, request a trade, and do what a lot of players do and move on. But again, if Jared Stidham looks really good, throws him the ball a lot, it might make Davante Adams feel better. And then Derek Carr's going to say, hey, man, stay here. Don't cause any turmoil for your family. You're going to get a good quarterback or two coming in, and stay here, make that money for your family, and be a better Raider than I was. Derek Carr would tell Davante that, and Davante Adams might do that. We'll get 2 first-round picks for Davante Adams. No, we won't. We didn't even give up 2 first-round picks to get him. So how are we going to get 2 first-round picks for him past 30 years of age? But yeah, thank you for the comment. These Carr haters, man, no respect. No respect. So is the Raiders not a family for you? Your name is Cash Lord, right? That means you're all about the money. You don't really care about people and respect people and have empathy, do you? Silverface, we'll be lucky to get a second rounder for Carr. Carr is not going to be traded. There's no possibility. We've spoke about that throughout the show. I mean, there's a possibility, but he has to be on the roster next year for $40 million. It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. No other team's going to take on $40 million for a hurt Carr. All right, let's talk about Josh Jacobs. What's next for Josh Jacobs? We all know there's no 5th-year option for Josh Jacobs. It was denied. Josh McDaniels ran him into the ground, possibly injuring him in a star-studded season. We all know that many teams are going to want him next year. He's going to get money wherever he goes. Does he want to be a Raider? He just spoke about it. He's fed up. He's tired. I think he wants to move on. He's broken just like everybody else. That being said, they could franchise tag him. I believe they have that option. Not for Derek Carr. Somebody said that in Wi-Fi Willie's video. They said something about they can franchise Derek Carr. And then Willie started talking. He's like, yeah, they could, but they won't. I think he got a little confused. They can't franchise tag Derek Carr. They can franchise tag Josh Jacobs, I believe. And if they do that, they still got to pay him a lot of money. Like the top 3 running back payments in the NFL at that time. Maybe 8, 10, 11 million, whatever it might be. Does he want to come back for the Raiders? Could he deny the franchise tag if they tag him? Yes, he could. I think he wants to go elsewhere. I think he wants to move on. I think, like Derek Carr, they all need a fresh start. And then that in turn will also make Davante Adams' decision a little bit difficult with his feelings. So if you ask me what's going to happen to Josh Jacobs, I truly believe they're going to try to franchise tag him. If they have that ability, I might be wrong, but if they have that ability, they're going to try and franchise tag Josh Jacobs. And then he'll get maybe a contract offer from the Raiders of some of the money that was going to Derek Carr. Now, whether Josh Jacobs takes that franchise tag or signs a contract to stay with the Raiders, I'm going to be honest with you, 25% chance. He can get money, he can get a fresh start, and he can get the hell out of here. Because like he said in his statement, I've seen a lot of things these past 4 years from this organization, and he don't like it. Plus, he lives in Sin City, where there's alcohol and drugs and everything around, and he got in a car crash drinking. Technically, they said he wasn't drunk or over the alcohol limit, but still, it's a bad environment, man. And Josh Jacobs is a man of faith as well. He needs to move on. I can foresee, and I'm just spitballing here, I can foresee Davante Adams, Derek Carr, and Josh Jacobs being a triple header going to another team. Whatever team, them all going to the same effing team. I could see that. That type of stuff happens to the Raiders. I'm just saying. This is an interesting statement, MJR. I compared Carr with Kirk Cousins. They both diehard Christians, but Cousins has that dog in him. Makes a world of difference. I agree with that statement. Derek Carr has the dog in him, but the problem is the dog is on a leash. Because Derek Carr likes to be safe a lot more than bring out the dog. All right, now Darren Waller, what's next for him? He's still under contract. There's video or pictures of Tom Brady and Darren Waller's girlfriend and Mark Davis recently at an NBA Aces game. Darren Waller's girlfriend, Darren Waller, Mark Davis, and Tom Brady and Josh McDaniels at WNBA Aces game together. Tom Brady sent Darren Waller's girlfriend a Tom Brady jersey this past year. Tom Brady sent Darren Waller's girlfriend, who a lot of people think Darren Waller's girlfriend controls him, sent her a Tom Brady jersey because she's a Patriots fan. Darren Waller's girlfriend I don't need to repeat myself. You guys keep saying, I'm tired of conspiracies. I'm tired of conspiracies. Are y'all stupid? In real life as well, these effing things are now 80% true. Because a lot of people's eyes are open now to everything. Everything. All the lies and the deceit. People are waking up. Some of you, you're just stupid. You're not waking up. You're a sheep. It ain't happening. I'm tired of conspiracies. There's no conspiracy against Derek Carr. Derek Carr did it to himself. There's truth in both of those statements. There's truth in both of those statements. There is a conspiracy against Derek Carr or an agenda, a narrative. Then Derek Carr did at times hurt himself. They can go hand in hand. So Darren Waller is still going to be a part of this team. he, in my opinion, is the next Gronkowski for Josh McDaniels. And I don't know what's going to happen. I think they're going to feature Darren Waller and Devante Adams a lot with Jared Stidham this game. They're going to target them both a lot. Probably going to try to run Josh Jacobs into the ground against a good 49er defense. I don't know if Josh Jacobs wants to possibly get injured and not be a free agent or not get a franchise tag or whatever. I don't know. A lot of things going to be asked, man. Long story short, man, we're all hurt. You said it best. We're all hurt about Derek Carr. But Mario, a lot of us are not. A lot of us are not. And that's the sad thing. Is in this world we live in today, everybody's divided. And I'm going to say it for the last time. I'm okay with Derek Carr moving on. I'm okay. I want to see what's next. But I'm rooting for the guy. And I think he's being done dirty per his legacy. Whether he did it to himself or there's a conspiracy, again, both of those things can be true. I'm sad for a human being. I hope y'all can respect that. All right, let's talk about the game. Because I don't know if I'm going to do another video. I'm freaked out right now. I don't even know if I'm a Raider fan anymore. Like, again, I'm questioning a lot of things right now, guys. I need some time away. I'm broken, just like everybody else. I am salty as hell on Mark Davis and every decision he's made. I am salty as hell on Josh McDaniels. I am salty as fuck with everything about this organization at this moment in time. And I'm salty at many of the so-called Raider fans cheering on the debacle of a human being that tried his best to be the best Raider he could. I'm salty at you guys. Y'all are dead to me. No empathy, no love, no respect. Be gone, fudgers. Unsubscribe. I don't give a damn. Unsubscribe. I don't even have a lot of subscribers anymore. So I was humbled. But I'm still alive and I can still respect and I can still love Derek Carr for what he tried to give us. While understanding it's time to move on. I hate that it wasn't or that it is. I wish it wasn't. But I would rather move on from McDaniels than Derek Carr. I would have rather have John Gruden back as our coach for another year than to get rid of Derek Carr this year or next year. I would rather have Rich Bisaccia as our coach this year than us giving up our legacy to the Patriots. Raiders versus 49ers. What will happen? Anything can happen. Is the NFL scripted? Are the Raiders going to get a victory with Jared Stidham against the 49ers? Is it national television? I doubt it. But will the referees rig it for Josh McDaniels and the Patriots and for the Raiders to get a victory to move on from Derek Carr publicly? I don't know. I don't know. They have a better team. Will Brock Purdy and Jared Stidham, which one will play better? Maybe Jared Stidham will, because Josh McDaniels will put him in those positions with correct play calling in the second half and easier decisions for Jared Stidham to make. And he'll target Darren Waller, Davante Adams, and he'll run the ball at key moments, and he'll they'll pass the ball at the right moments, and he'll put in the right game plan and the plays at the right moments to feature and make Jared Stidham look good and possibly make him look better than Brock Purdy. So then the NFL says, oh, the Raiders have got themselves a future quarterback. And then everybody's, it's fine. It's fine that Derek Carr is going to be gone. And then we'll make our decisions from there. That might happen. I think that's what's going to happen. Again, if the NFL is scripted or there's an agenda, all of those things are going to happen. All of those things are going to happen for publicity, for the draft, for the Raiders to still be in the playoff hunt, 49ers to lose a little game. You know, I don't know, man. I don't know. Raiders are not as good enough as a team, and they're not as good coached as the 49ers. 49ers have everything better than the Raiders. They're coached better and everything. And who knows? If many years ago Al Davis didn't fire Shanahan, we could have had his son Kyle wanting to be a Raider head coach. Or we could have had a Sean McVay from that coaching tree. I don't know. They should have continued hiring from the John Gruden coaching tree. Will the Raiders beat the 49ers? In reality, no fucking way. But in a conspiracy world, a scripted world, a Josh McDaniels finally doing the right thing, finally managing the correct game plan, we can make it a close game and we could win if we had Carr. But again, Jared Stidham knows the system. McDaniels is going to make him look good, make all the right play calls. We're still going to be in it against a good 49ers team, so we could win. Therein lies the conspiracy, and that might prove that Josh McDaniels sabotaged Carr in many of the games. If Jared Stidham looks that good and all the play calls are better in the second half and correct, like you run the ball when you need to, you pass it at the correct time, if all of those things are correct for Jared Stidham to win the game, that'll prove sabotage for Derek Carr. You guys might see it. Nope, Jared Stidham's a better quarterback. All right, I'm done. I love you guys. God bless you. Good night. I don't know what else to say. We're losing our heart for the Raiders. We're losing our heart. Again, I'm not talking about his ability on the field. I'm talking everything else. The Raiders are losing their heart. How the other players respond is up to them individually. But me, as a fan of this organization and of Derek Carr and what he tried to give this team, we had a heart attack today. And we're losing our heart. Guys, I need money and I need a job. So I'm going to continue. Of course, I'm going to continue being a Raider fan. I'm hurt right now. But I'm going to continue to make videos and try to make a few bucks out of my YouTube channel, even though I'm dying as well. I'm going to do my best, guys. But I'm going to be very critical and even more angry than I was when I got sued by the Raiders. When they hired Gruden again, I lost my YouTube channel. My energy and my life went negative. And I'm still kind of there. I cannot bring you guys positive content all the time. But I'm going to have to, in order to build up my fans on YouTube, to make everybody feel better. I'm going to have to find it. I'm dead right now. I'm broke like Carr. I'm struggling to be a Raider fan. But knowing I need the money, I need to have a channel, I need some of you guys in my life still. I'm not going anywhere. And I got to find the positivity to root on this organization and these Raiders moving forward. And it's going to be hard as fuck to find. I can't do it blindly anymore, guys. Can't do it. I'm not quitting the Raiders. Taking a break to find my love again. As I spoke about a video maybe about a month ago, I said Carr and the Raiders are headed to divorce. We all knew what was happening. The real people saw what was happening. The others, it's all on Derek Carr. I love you guys. God bless you. Good night. I think I read something that was funny. Mikey sounded like the president of the Kardashians, making fun of me because I like Carr. Please, Big Tone, watch the entire video. Do you really agree with everything this organization is doing? And everything is on Carr and you're happy about him leaving? I'm going to leave it at there. Keep fighting. I'm going to try. I love y'all. God bless. Stephen, AG, Jay Marion, Brad, John James, Docs, Dionysia, Theo, Raider Nightmare, All Eyes on G, Veto, everybody that was online. I love you guys. Good night. Let's wish for a brighter day. Man. But I'm afraid the shit show is going to get even worse. And I might even come online and talk about it. For views, get some super chat, or maybe I can yell some more. This is therapy for me. I love you guys. God bless. Good night.